Hello, this is Pam. Today we're going to be talking about the mindset that you must have if you want to recover from chronic disease and live your very best life. If we have not met yet, my name is Pam Bartha, and I am the author of Become a Wellness Champion and the founder of Live Disease Free. Just want to make sure my volume's up there. And 29 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So I have learned over the years, and I should also share with you that I've coached hundreds of other people in recovering from chronic disease. And so I have learned some really valuable insights that I want to share with you today, because there's a certain type of person that succeeds in reaching their health goals. And that is truly important. Otherwise, we're just leaving it up to chance. And this is our life. So I just want to say hello to a few people. Hi, Jeanette and Danielle and Maureen, you guys can hear me? Good, we'll continue on. So today's topic is the mindset that we have to have in order to recover from chronic disease and live our very best life. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was just 28 years old, and I honestly thought I was a really healthy person. I'd been healthy all my life. So for me to come down with this mysterious disease, and I call it mysterious because the doctors didn't know what caused it, there was no cure, but to go from being a healthy person suddenly to be diagnosed with this incurable disease that was going to take over my life and leave me completely disabled, I was devastated, but I was in shock. And so by the grace of God and a lot of work and a big shift in my mindset, I've been able to live MS free for the past 29 years. We're coming up to 30 years right now. And so it's my passion to share the insights that I've learned with you, because this is probably the most important part of your success. Because it doesn't matter what I teach, it doesn't matter the wonderful insights I give. If it doesn't line up with your beliefs and your belief systems, you're not going to apply it, and it's not going to benefit you, and you're not going to reach your health goals. Early on, I learned that when I was dealing with this chronic disease, that I had to do something different. So the first thing is that before I was sick, I just thought if I ever got sick, doctors would fix me and the healthcare professionals would fix me. But I learned at that point that, especially after I went to the specialist and they couldn't heal me and they told me I would become disabled in time, I learned very quickly that I had to take responsibility for my health, that I had to learn what I needed to do to take my health back. This was back in 1988, and I was very ignorant to health. I just thought it was healthy. So I didn't know these principles. But I'm going to be talking more about intention and why and how powerful that is. But I just decided that, okay, the healthcare professionals, they can't help me, so I need to help myself. So that's the first thing, is number one, we have to think differently. Especially those of us that are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, et cetera, where we're from that generation where we just show up to the practitioner's office and it's like, fix me, tell me what I need to do. And unfortunately, they're not able to heal us. They're just giving us very often different prescriptions that manage our symptoms. So the first thing is, this is your responsibility. It's not any practitioner's responsibility. It's our responsibility. We have to become the director of our health. So that's a huge, huge first step. This is something that should be taught in schools. This is something that all of us should learn, because our health is truly our greatest asset. And if we don't have our health, it's really difficult to live the life that we want to. So number one, we have to take charge of our health. We have to learn the skills, and we teach that in the Live Disease Free Academy. And I'll give you more information about that later if you want some more information. Number two is that when I got sick, I'm living in a country where normally my medical expenses are all covered. So if I wanted to get well, none of those integrative approaches are covered by our healthcare system. So then it becomes out-of-pocket expenses. And the unfortunate thing is that when we're looking for other solutions, when we're stepping away from standard of care that's treating our disease, then we start working with different integrative practitioners. And if we don't know what we need, we can end up spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which I did, Luckily, I did not spend as much as some people. Nowadays, there's things like stem cell treatments, and there's CCSVI. There's some really expensive treatments and ozone, etc. And when we don't know what we need, it's very easy to just be throwing money at different types of therapies and not getting better. But that's why, again, learning the skill yourself, there is still value in working with integrative practitioners, but you have to know what you need. That's the big thing. So number one, I had to take charge of my health and learn the skills. And I had to learn it the hard way by myself because I didn't have a coach and I didn't have a plan. This was back in the 1980s. I didn't even have a computer in my home. And then number two, living in this country, I had to understand that if I wanted to get well, I had to look outside the box. I had to take a different path. I had to start to learn and research this myself. I just want to stop for a minute and just say, please put your questions in the question box. I will come back and answer those in a few minutes. And if you know somebody in your life that is dealing with some type of chronic disease or some type of a condition, maybe infertility or autoimmune or cancer, etc., and they're looking for solutions, please share this with them and share it with other people, because we have to bring change, and you guys are the wellness champions. So then, as I've been coaching people, I've learned, and please, when I say something that really relates to you or resonates with you, please give me a thumbs up or hearts, because I don't get to see your beautiful faces and it's a lot more interactive for me. The other things that I've learned that are really huge with respect to the mindset that you have to recover from chronic disease is you have to, number one, first have real hope that there's possibilities for you, because you can't change your mindset if you really believe that you're dealing with this chronic degenerative disease that is going to take you out at some point. Then there's all this stuff that I'm sharing is light and fluffy and it doesn't make sense. But if you have followed me and if you've watched some of my videos, you'll see that chronic infections in the body are the biggest cause of chronic disease. Very important. There's thousands of studies on this, and I have many, many videos. I've got a 6-part series just on infection with multiple sclerosis. It's really important for you to understand that if you, let's say, just had some digestive issues or maybe a little bit of allergies or chronic fatigue, or maybe you get sick often, you're out of balance a little bit, or I would say mildly or moderately. But the more out of balance we are with the microbes that live in our body, the more symptoms we have and the sicker we are. So those of us with really significant diseases like cancer and neurodegenerative diseases like MS and ALS and Parkinson's, diabetes, all these different diseases, we are infested with parasites and fungus and bad bacteria. And so the key is that I'm helping to bring the research out, and so are many other people, other wellness champions, in helping us to understand there is a cause of your symptoms. There is hope for you, because if you treat the infections, you decrease the toxicity, the inflammation, you correct nutritional deficiencies, you use this holistic approach to make sure that you're really building a healthy lifestyle and doing all those other important things, and then you get your life back. So what you do, I share this, and it might be the first time you've ever heard that infection is causing your symptoms. I have lots of videos. We have lots of students that have recovered. So your big job is to build up your hope. Listen to tons of success stories. Watch my videos. Start to check my work. Make sure that what I'm sharing is truthful. Thank you so much for your hearts and your thumbs up. So when you have hope, then you have to make sure you have a very strong intention and a why. We'll talk about that for the next minute or so. So your intention is, what do you intend to accomplish when you recover? What is your life going to look like? A lot of times when we suffer with chronic disease for months, if not years, it really beats us down, and it really robs us of our dreams and our hopes. It really destroys our self-confidence and our self-esteem, and we just feel like we have no hope. I've interviewed hundreds of people, I would say at least 700 people that are suffering with chronic disease or have suffered with chronic disease. And it breaks my heart to hear how they are suffering. It's absolutely awful. And that's what drives me to do the work that I do, because I can't stand it, especially when there are children that are suffering and they haven't even had the life that we've had as adults. So the key is that when we have been living with chronic disease, we lose hope, we lose our vision, we lose that zest for life. And so we have to start, once we have the hope, then we have to start to think, okay, well, if this is a possibility for me, what do I want? Like, what would be my ideal life? Maybe for some of us, it's, I could start preparing my food again. I could start to clean my house. I could start to garden. I love gardening. Or I've got these beautiful children or grandchildren and I can start to play with them again. My husband is retiring or has retired and we've worked so hard all our life and now we could travel together. I could get my license back and I could be independent again, right? Or I wouldn't have this fear. I would be able to just live my life and not live under this fear of, when is this going to take me out? Having the peace of mind and just being yourself and knowing you have a bright future. So for me, I was really fortunate that I learned about these infections early on after my diagnosis. So I still had hope. I didn't understand the types of infections, but I did hear from different hero doctors. This was 30 years ago. They were talking about how different types of infections in the body were causing all chronic disease. And if you treat the infections, you will get your life back. The disease process will stop and your symptoms, you'll have a ton of recovery and you'll be able to get on with your life. So that gave me the hope. I didn't see a whole bunch of successes. There were some successes in their books, but that gave me the hope that, okay, what the specialist told me, maybe that wasn't true. Maybe there was hope for me. And so I was only 28 years old and my family and friends, we were young. And when we would go out and they would have a few drinks and they would have this wonderful fast food, pizza, whatever, I developed such a strong intention that I was like, no, I don't care what they're eating, what they're drinking. I like a glass of wine. I love, breads and a good cheesecake. But for me, my intention was, I'm not going to end up in a wheelchair. I don't care what I have to eat, what I have to put in my mouth. Whatever I have to do, but I'm not going to end up in a wheelchair. And so this is a very powerful mindset to have, because I didn't know if I would be able to totally reverse the MS at that time. Remember, I was 28. I had just heard, through these books about treating infections. Back then, it was really talking more about fungus. And so, but it gave me hope and I created a very strong intention. So that's the thing you have to recover. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't go, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. Or, yeah, just this one little bit. No, it is like every time you eat the processed foods, the carbs, and have the caffeine and the sugar and the alcohol, you are promoting those infections that are making you disabled. So once you have the hope, you know what's causing. I've given you tons and tons of research and success stories, and you believe that it's possible for you, which is so different than what I had 29 years ago. We have so much more evidence, so many more people recovering, and so much more science behind it, and more practitioners that are coming on board. It's a very exciting time if you're dealing with chronic disease. So the key is that you have to take charge of your health. You have to invest in your health, the time and finances. You can't leave this up to anyone else, not any naturopath or functional medicine doctor. You have to know the basics, so you know what you need, and then you could say, yes, we'll do that. No, thank you. Let's not do that. That's not what I need, kind of thing. And then once you have this hope, which if you haven't met me before, make sure to watch my videos and listen to the successes on livediseasefree.com. We have a whole bunch of testimonies of people that have shared. And I have that also, I think it was on one of the videos, it's like the Wellness Champion successes, several of them. So there's lots of evidence there. And I share lots of research weekly on the different types of parasites that are making us sick and how they're making us sick. So we need that strong intention. And we need that why. Why do you have to succeed? No question about it. Why do you have to succeed? For me, I had two small children. I had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, or like 3 and 1.5. And I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to raise them, and I wanted to be a big part in their life. And I have a husband, and I didn't want him to have to take care of me, and I wanted to have a wonderful life. And I love the outdoors. I wanted to be active. You guys can all relate to that. You guys go ahead and share your comments in there. So it's not just like positive thinking. It is realistic positive thinking. When you know that there is hope, when you know what the cause is, and you've got to still figure it out. You don't have all the answers yet, but you know that there is a tangible, real cause. And then you have to build that intention and the why. For me, like, why do you have to succeed? What is your life going to look like when you beat this? What kind of things are you going to be doing? What things do you love to do? You need to write that out. You need to read over it daily, because there is this subconscious part of your mind. When your mind is set on a clear and strong intention and a clear and strong why you have to succeed, your subconscious goes to work and it helps you to achieve it, even when you don't have a clear path. Brian Clemmer is a wonderful, wonderful professional development company, or Clemmer and Associates, I should say. And Brian Clemmer was the founder of this amazing group of people. But he has shared that if your intention is strong enough, the how-to, the mechanism shows up. And it did for me. Back in the 80s, how many people were recovering from multiple sclerosis in the 80s? There were not a lot, right? But because my intention was so clear and strong, and I honestly believe, I'm just going to put a little plug in here, my faith in God, I begged for help. I prayed and prayed unceasingly, begging for a direction, for an answer. But it did take work. I did have to put in the effort. So by the grace of God and diligence on my part, I found the cause, and then I was able to go to work. And did I have a clear roadmap like we do now in the Live Disease Free Academy? No, I did not. And that's the problem. It took me years to figure out what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And I did waste money, unfortunately, but it was still worth it, because I have been able to live my best life. I went back to university. I got a science degree. I had another child. So I have 3 kids, and you shouldn't do that after you have multiple sclerosis. Then I also have had the huge, amazing privilege to coach hundreds of people in chronic disease, helping them to recover. This is my passion. I believe this is, besides being a wife and a mother, this is really my duty, my mission, my passion. And it has been a wild ride. And we have so many wellness champions that have recovered, that are on their way to recovery. And it's a very exciting time. So again, your intention and your why. Another thing that you need for your mindset is to uncover, break them open, the limiting beliefs that we have. We all have limiting beliefs. Those would be our reasons. They're really excuses that keep us stuck. It's what we tell ourselves so that we're not doing the things we know we should do. And a lot of times we have them, and there are benefits to them. And so the exercise we do in the Academy is to help people to uncover their limiting beliefs. And where do you find them? Well, if you look on different types of wellness wheels, you look at different parts in your life, like maybe it's your relationships, or fun time, or your activities, your sunshine, or the type of work you do. And where you have a low score, then you start to say, what do I tell myself to justify this low score? And that would be a limiting belief. So for example, I don't have time to exercise. I'm really busy, or I don't like exercising. Like, those would be all, they usually start with I can't, I don't like, I don't want to, different things like that. They're negative. And those would be limiting beliefs. And then once you have discovered one, and it's kind of like it just kind of bubbles out of your head, because it's something that you it's your reason, your excuse of why you don't do what you know you should do. Then you have to write down, what is the benefit of holding on to this belief? Very important, because there is a benefit, or you would not be holding on to it. So maybe it's, I don't have time to exercise. What's the benefit of that? well, then I just don't have to take the time out of my schedule to exercise. Or maybe I don't like the feeling of having stiff muscles, or whatever it is, right? Then once you've written down those benefits, then you can look at them and you can say, what is the cost of holding on to this limiting belief that I'm dealing with? What is the cost? How is this impacting? Whether I don't like vegetables are too expensive. This little whatever isn't going to hurt me. I'll start tomorrow. Whatever the limiting belief that you're telling yourself, write down the benefit and then write down the cost. And that just completely dissolves the limiting belief, and it helps you to bust through it. And that is so important. It frees you. This is an exercise that you can do not just with your health, but with every part of your body, your life, I should say. With every part of your life, you can really start to dig in, and kind of another way you can do it is to pay attention to the negative thinking, negative self-talk. When it comes out, right, it comes out of your mind or it comes out of your mouth, then I always say to myself, is that really true? Or could it be something different? And when you do that, then you just get into this practice and you're like, well, no, actually it's like this. And this really helps you to propel yourself forward in all different areas of your life, is to manage the negative self-talk, to uncover your limiting beliefs. And it's so important to do all of these steps, because when we have chronic disease symptoms, we have so many different types of infections in our body. And those infections make us crave the food they want really strongly. And I say to people that a lot of my students have such severe addictions to different types of sugar and baked goods. It's almost like a drug addiction. And when you build that strong intention and that strong why, and you're starting to uncover the limiting beliefs and you're starting to correct them and say, well, no, I'm paying a big price for thinking this in my head. That gives you the strength to push you through the first part of the recovery phase. And we need that, because if you're eating a lot of processed foods and you're feeding those infections that are making you really sick, then we have to build that strong intention why, and you have this visual picture, and you can put pictures around your house. Used to love to do certain things, camping, horse riding, shopping, whatever it is, and writing out your intention and discovering those limiting beliefs. Then you are pushed through the tough part, which may only be a week's time, where you're going through the withdrawals from coming off of sugar and coming off of alcohol and coming off of caffeine. And then it's freedom. Then you can eat for energy, and you can eat for well-being, and you don't need the coffee to keep you going every day. You'll have lots and lots of energy, natural energy, right? And that is the key. And I'm not saying coffee is bad, but if your health is suffering, it's not exactly going to be helpful for you to recover, for sure. So again, all of this mindset is so important to have. And we attract a lot of people I call wellness champions. And those people are people that value wellness and making a difference in the lives of others. And so we build our health and our wellness on the 4 pillars of wellness. We use the Live Disease-Free Academy, all the steps in that. And if you are at a place in your life, you're like, Pam, I'm looking for a plan. I have been searching and searching for ways to recover from this, whatever disease it is, for years. Or maybe it's just months, or maybe you've got the diagnosis, or you don't have the diagnosis and you don't want the diagnosis. Then make sure to watch my masterclass training, and you can learn about the Live Disease-Free Academy. You can become a wellness champion. I just wanted to share a couple of successes recently of some of the wellness champions. So Sia is a student that is a wellness champion. And just by following the eating plan, the Live Disease-Free eating plan that we have developed in this program, it's really helping tremendously. Why? Because it is greatly reducing the food to the infections that are making us sick. It's feeding the body. And just a little, to let you know ahead, that we are creating a Live Disease-Free cookbook. And Chef Barton was just at our house over the last 2 days, and he was creating all these amazing recipes. So I've been eating a lot of really good, healthy food that is totally compliant with the Live Disease-Free Eating Plan. So I'm really excited. It's so flavorful. You'll love it. Anyhow, going back to Sia, just wanted to share that she shared after starting the Live Disease-Free Academy. So this was at the beginning where she just started the eating plan and supporting the body. She shared, I dropped 30 pounds. I regained my strength. I can walk without spasticity. I've corrected my bladder function. My bowel movements are normal. My stomach inflammation is gone. My droopy eye and mouth has recovered, and my slurred speech has recovered also. She said, I now know what it takes to support my mind, body, and spirit for the rest of my life. She's not 100% healed. She's still treating the infections, but that is how much she has recovered. And she shared, I've learned so much. Another student I wanted to share is Naji, and she is just graduating. And she has shared, I lost 31 pounds in the Live Disease-Free Academy. Everyone notices it. I shared this. I'm sharing with everyone what I've been doing. I'm so grateful for everything that I've learned. I'm almost symptom-free. I used to have pins and needles in both legs, back pain, pain in many parts of my body, muscles, legs, shoulders, arms, hips. They always kept me awake at night. Anxiety. Over the summer, I felt really, this was last summer before she found the academy, I felt really depressed, excessive urination at night, difficulty thinking and concentrating. The most scariest symptom was mostly at night when I'd wake up from a nap, and I would have this strange sensation in my brain like I was fainting, and it would only last for a few seconds, but they were so strong. I was so sad most of the time. How was I going to live with all these symptoms? Now I'm almost at the end of the program, and I am so happy about everything. I feel energetic, and my biggest happiness is not having all those horrible symptoms anymore. I now know how to take care of myself for the rest of myself. I want to give others hope like you gave me hope. I'm happy and I'm able to focus on my dreams, and I can't wait to help others that are miserable. So those are just a couple of successes that I wanted to share with you, because it's truly miraculous. It is so incredibly miraculous to see people getting their life back, and to see them, like one student, Susan, was sharing how she's back in the greenhouse and planting, and they're doing all the things they love to do. For some of us, like I said, it's just going for a walk, or working in the yard, or preparing our meals, or taking care of our family, right? Those little things that we take for granted, or we took for granted before. I'm going to go to your questions here. All right. Hello, Anthony, and hi, Janae. And hi, Stefan, and Patty, and Naji. Hello. And yes, if you've had MS, Janae, for 21 years, we've had lots of people that have had it for at least 20 years or more. And when you treat the infections, the disease process will stop, and you will have a lot of recovery. Hi, Katie. Hi, Lisa. See if you guys have any questions. Hi, Gisty. Hi, Lisa. Cynthia. You are so welcome. You've had MS for 25 years. You're in a wheelchair. What do you think of the pH alkaline water? Cynthia, number one, water, we should drink water in its natural state. So it's just slightly alkaline. When we have a lot of infections in our body, we become more acidic. And just be aware that drinking a lot of alkaline water is not going to correct the problem. Right? And when we have alkaline water, like, it's not going to be bringing in all the minerals that we need. So we are usually deficient in minerals. I personally think that drinking, really alkaline water, or if you're going to have distilled water, something that's not totally natural, do it for a short term, like if you're doing a cleanse type thing. But you want to drink your water in its natural state. Yes, get the chemicals out. Make sure that if it is reverse osmosis, they put the minerals back in. But again, Cynthia, if you want your life back, you have to treat the infections. And yes, there is tons of hope for you. We have many students that have been in wheelchairs and scooters. I can't promise you'll be walking again, but the exciting thing is that There are so many people that have way more recovery and mobility than we thought possible, with respect to people that have been in wheelchairs and or walkers that are able to have huge improvements in mobility. And again, there's just so many benefits. Like if we're on all kinds of different medications that make us feel horrible, people are able to come off of them, working with their doctor as they are healing and becoming healthy and strong. You got to treat the cause. You have to treat the infection. So you've got to start. This is where we have to work through all these things I talked about on the call today. The mindset of a wellness champion. I attract very specific people. The wellness champions, they have that. They are leaders. They are forward thinkers. They are trailblazers. They are pioneers. They really are. And because of their forward thinking, their diligence, they are taking it on. They're recovering. They're getting their life back. They are attracting a lot of practitioners from all over the world saying, what is going on? How is this possible? And we are bringing change. And it is through the wellness champions that we are going to bring change a lot quicker. So you have to treat the infections. Hello, Troy. Hi, Lanny. How do you change your mindset when you cannot afford to learn? That, my dear, is a limiting belief. When you tell yourself, I cannot afford to learn this, what is the benefit of telling yourself that? Well, then I'm stuck and I don't have to do anything, and I just have to sit here. I don't have to do anything. What is the cost of that limiting belief? And I'm being really honest and loving here. I'm being the tough love coach, right? So what is the benefit and what is the cost? If you hold on to that limiting belief, you are never, ever going to live the life that you should live. So what could you replace that belief with? Well, there are many, many people out there that want to help you. You have to show them that you have an answer and you need help. That's what we do in this life. There are lots of people, churches, different types of organizations. You can do a GoFundMe. If you really believe that you're dealing with infection and that there is an answer for you, you will find a means. You will find someone to help you. And then it's like they're picking you up and they're helping you. And then you, once you're well, you can help others. And that's what we do. So that, my dear, is a limiting belief. You are not trapped. You're only trapped because you're telling yourself you're trapped. All right? You're not trapped. Hi, Janet. Hi, Cynthia and Tiffany. And Troy is another example of a wellness champion. So Troy is somebody who has had MS since he was 17 years old. I'm sure it was 17 or right around that time that he was diagnosed. And he said he's 43 years old right now. And he has this beautiful family. He has a mother and a wife and kids. And his family, wife and children, sorry, not children, but wife and mother and brothers and sister-in-laws, etc., they all believe in standard of care. They all believe that the medication is the best way to treat MS. But in his heart, he knew that this was the right path to treat infections, to join the academy. And so he didn't have any support in his life, in his family. He did have the support of the wellness champions, but he didn't have support from his loved ones. And they do love him, and they do want what's best for him, but that is their limiting beliefs. They are not willing to look into this to see that, oh my gosh, there is tons of research showing that chronic disease is caused by different infections. And oh my gosh, there's so many people recovering. So without any support from all his loved ones and with very limited finances, he mustered up enough to get started with the academy, and it's changed his life. He's still treating. He is still treating infections, the parasites, but the key is that he has been able to, like, they've noticed at work that his cognitive function has improved so much, speech. He can do a lot of different exercises, like 2 different exercises back to back. He's shoveling the snow. He's, mowing the lawn. Like, there's different updates he's been giving me. He is a wellness champion. It has not been easy for him, but he has this determination. That's what we have to have. It's like, no, I'm taking my life back. I'm not sure how, but I'm taking it back. I have a strong intention, a strong why. I'm making the changes I need to make. And he is a hero. He is someone we can look towards for that role model. So thank you for what you do, Troy, because you really are a hero. Kevin, Elizabeth, hi, Dave. And Lisa, hi. Just a couple more minutes and then we're going to stop here. So Lisa, it's not hard to do when your quality of life is at stake. That is true for some people, but it still is hard. If your quality of life is at stake, there are still people that say, I can't. We go into victim mode, right? And the victim mode just keeps us stuck, and it prevents us from living the life that we're supposed to live. And there are lots of people that are in victim mode. And if you have someone in your life, you've got to help them. I know that they have to make the ultimate decision themselves, but we have to reach out with love and help them to see that there is hope, that there is a better path. And they have to choose their own path, but we can be that person that just picks them up, right? Hi, Kevin. Hi, Elizabeth. How much salt is too much salt for the diet, for the eating plan? We know that when we follow the low-carb eating plan, we do want to incorporate more salt into our eating plan and get some Himalayan. Just make sure that it has the real Himalayan, or also the Celtic salt is good. I just salt things. Just make sure you add a little more salt than less salt. That's what I would say. So salt is not a problem. It's not going to cause high blood pressure for sure. But if you don't have enough salt, that would be a problem. So you can go ahead and salt all your food to taste. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Shelby. You are dying from a medical mystery and you don't have long. If anyone sees this, please read my story. Okay. You totally can choose a different path. All chronic disease is caused by these infections, and you don't have to die. You have to change your thinking. That's the first step. You have to start to prove me wrong. Watch my videos. Look and see that there is tons and tons of research, even for whatever condition you're dealing with. So you do not have to live like this, but you're the only one who can change that, Shelby. All right, and Janae, so I think that's it. There's a couple more. You are so welcome. I'm so happy that the information I'm sharing with you is blessing you. You're 36 years old, mother of 3, horrible candida rash for 12 years, vertigo, dizziness, gallbladder removed, finally thinning or extremely thinning gray hair. So the key is Adesto, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, is that it's not just candida. There are likely a lot of parasites involved that are making the candida difficult to treat. So make sure to watch our masterclass training and learn more, watch my videos, etc. And if you're looking for a step-by-step plan to recover, make sure to join, watch my video, how to recover from MS. It's not just for MS, but I do attract a lot of people that have multiple sclerosis. And then if you're really ready, then you can join and you can start treating the infections effectively so you don't have to be struggling with this. All right, I think that's it for the questions. There's a few more coming in. Hi, Danielle. Soda was your biggest culprit. And Danielle is somebody, and I wanted to share her success, but I forgot. Danielle is somebody who is a wellness champion, and she took the program. When she started, she had multiple sclerosis and a lot of mobility issues, was using a walker, was not driving anymore, was not working anymore. She is a wellness champion. She had the mindset of, I'm doing this, I'm taking back my life. She's got a beautiful family. So what she did is she went to work, and she not only stopped the MS, but she no longer has spasticity. She no longer uses a walker. She got her license back. She is back to working. She just shared in the last couple of weeks that she has climbed the steepest hill in her city. She can do 20 jumping jacks. This is the kind of thing that I want to share with you. This is possible for all of us, maybe not to the same extent. It can be. I just can't promise, because again, Danielle is an amazing implementer. We all have to be implementers like her, but she has the mindset. She had to beat this. She had a very clear intention and a why. And as she did this, she took her life back, and I'm so proud of you. So just gonna, hi Janet, you are a sugar caffeine addict. Just remember that every time you're binging on the sugar and the caffeine, you are, just think, when you get buzzing on the caffeine, just think how those parasites that are causing your disability, you're just making them hyperactive. And all the sugar is making them wild also. So what I would do is I would just stop eating sugar. And yeah, you're gonna have a headache, and the caffeine, you might have a headache. Just eat regularly. I've got a couple of videos on YouTube, what I eat and the eating plan, watch them. My book, Become a Wellness Champion. And then if you're at that place where you want a plan, it's like, thank you, Pam, for the plan. Thank you for all the videos. Thank you for all the inspiration. But I want to get well. I don't want to mess around. I don't want to take 6 months or a year, or I want to try to figure it out. I need to figure it out, and I need to get well. Make sure to watch my masterclass training, and you can chat with me. And I just wanted to share with you, we had just a whole bunch of students join us just over the last 5 days. Angela, Edie, Caroline, Maureen, Elizabeth, Kelly, Allison, and Tina. Welcome to New Wellness Champions. They are starting this journey, and you can start this journey with them also. So all you do is watch my masterclass training to the very end. If you're ready to invest time and energy into your health, building a step-by-step plan, treating these infections really well, so that you can maximize the most recovery, stop the progression of disease, then watch my masterclass training, and then fill out the form, and then you'll be able to chat with me, and you'll be able to start within a week's time or less on this journey and become a wellness champion. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will talk to you next week. Take care and bye-bye for now.